Hey, good morning, everybody. Good morning. We'll get started here just in a few minutes, few seconds here. All right, everybody, let's go ahead and get started here. We are going to start here. It is Monday morning. It's the 17th of May, 2021. We are going to give you a quick update of what I expect here in the market conditions. Is this pullback something that we need to be concerned about, or are we just digesting? I think that the market is a little on eggshells. So what I'm seeing across the board is, red is not necessarily something you need to fear. I want you to close your eyes for a minute and just understand that we had not only a really nice push on Thursday and Friday, but when we have that kind of expansion or we get that kind of mood or move, we need to digest it. Okay, so right now, traders again are on eggshells, and so the market is pulling back to digest, and what you get is a lot of fear, right? But you need levels in order to stay convicted in a trade. Before I continue, I just want to get a quick yes. You guys can see my screen and you can hear me. All right, awesome. So let's go ahead and get started here. Hopefully, again, you had a chance to watch over the broad market analysis that we pushed out over the weekend to give you insight and those trade plans that we gathered together. And they look good. They look pretty solid. So I'm pretty excited. We did keep it pretty light just because of the expected choppiness as we continue. So ES futures, where are we? What can we measure and so forth? Let's make this really simple. I'm going to go ahead and draw a couple lines here. You're going to see a pivot high here from a pivot low. I want you to go ahead and apply some of those Fibonacci tutorials that I gave you and just figure out where that 38 to 25% is. And as long as the market is holding those levels, this is bullish on the rally that we're measuring. Okay, so again, from this pivot here into this pivot here, you could tell just by looking at this, especially if you've been around for quite some time, that we are holding that bullish channel. So nothing really to fret about, to be concerned about. Now last night we came into our entry, we got that push up into resistance, and here we are again this morning. Just like any other resistance and support, the more you test it, the weaker it gets. So we've come to this level several times. That tells me that we have buyers lined up here, but can they hold this level? My thoughts going forward today, if we could push back over the daily trendy edge, which is close to around 4170, I would expect another attempt into 4182. Major levels to the upside, 4182 and 3/4, and then major levels to the downside, 4116. Let's just call it 4117. So I want you to go ahead and place two alerts there. Everything between, you've heard it so many times, everything between those two major levels is noise. Okay? This is noise. This is where, if you're watching news, which we 100% do not pay attention to news or any other catalyst out there, this is where they try to put you into that mode of, am I right? Am I wrong? Just ignore it. Just understand that the technicals take over from here. Okay? So at or below, right down here towards my indicator, and then we have one right up here towards the trendy edge. All of this is noise. All right, so QQQ, was probably my biggest focus for this week. We're going to go ahead and take a look at that. Now, as far as the neutral strategy is concerned, I just want to show you guys last week what you missed, right? So last week, we make this very simple here. We come up with these levels using supply and demand, trendy edges, Fibonacci's, and all of it comes together to give you this beautiful blueprint. The first thing I want to show you is, unfortunately, look at all these down weeks. All right. If you were to take this and look back at the past, it's very uncommon. Okay, it's very uncommon to see something like this without an inside week. That inside week would look like something like this. Price comes up and closes within this body. Right now, what we're experiencing is just a slight pullback here on the 4 hour. All right. And what I would expect for buyers to come in here, and again, they need to reclaim above the trendy edge right down here, this lower pink level. If we can get above there today at or around, give me 1 second here, 325.10. All right, 325.10. We need to get above there. We need to hold this and start to push up and make higher highs. Notice if you look to the left, we have these pivots. These are so important. We have topping wicks, which shows that the bears are in control. But let me tell you, if we can go inside and the market continues to push and take these pivots out, it's lights out for the bears. Okay, we're going to push up here towards 320, 327. Now over here on the left, I wanted to show you this. This was last week. All you had to do was look at the short underneath the neutral, and not only did you hit all three targets, you actually came to the inside and up on the weekly. Now note, I'm going to change this to 517. This is going to be our new trade plan. I'm going to trade both of these. Come 517, here you go. So what does this morning look like? Again, this is the week over here. Pay attention to the right. This is the 4 hour. We're in the neutral. It's exactly what it means. Just stay neutral. It's all noise in here. If you're an active trader and you're trying to scalp and so forth, use the levels I talked about. Can we break above that trendy edge? Look to the left. Can we get over those pivots? Then again, you would expect that move to 327. The bigger trade does not happen though this week unless we can get over 331. So all this, sure, it's just a small trading area that we can trade up towards these levels. But again, the bigger trade happens in here, and we'll talk about that, and I'll coach it once we get there. Now, what if we break down? All right, if we break down, I'm looking for prices to break possibly into the 320 level. Okay, 320 by 317, I would expect buyers in here. Again, all we're doing is digesting a bigger move, and we are holding a very bullish channel of that rally. Let's go ahead and move on. Next one is going to be Amazon. Took a position in this on Friday. Okay, and this is what I'm looking at. It's very important that you understand. I'm going to change the weekly. I'm going to go to the monthly. All right. Don't focus on the small candles in this thing, or you're going to get your, what handed to you. Okay? So on the bigger side, this is why I'm taking the trade. The monthly has come into the 9 EMA. We've consolidated here, folks, since June of last year, I believe. All right? June of last year. This is crazy. All right? But it's not that crazy. Look at the move. You have to expect a digestion period at some point. And that's what's happening. See, they washed everybody out. Everybody's looking for forward splits. Everybody's looking for a breakout. But really, you just have to be patient. So how did we approach this? I bought some debit spreads for quite some time out. I think, did we buy like 155 days out or so? I think it's way up there. I need to take another look here in a second. But I bought a lot of time on this, and what I'm looking for is that at some point, as long as we can hold down here on this monthly 9, I'm looking for the break above all-time highs and then into my Fibonacci extensions towards 36.75, 37.51, 38.13, and so forth. Okay? Remember, a lot of traders believe you can use Fibonacci extensions. I love these. But you can also take this box and duplicate it. So the consolidation phase in here, duplicate it, place this on top of it, and this is what a lot of traders look for. About 100% of this move, right? So that puts you up towards 420, 4,200, right? Isn't that funny? 4,200. All right. Where have we seen that number? We see that number everywhere. Am I right? I mean, seriously, it's everywhere. This time we just add a 0 onto it. All right. So these are my bigger targets for further out. When we get there, we'll celebrate. Okay. So let's go ahead and move on. Today's focus, I went ahead, we have some CCL. We're going to go ahead and take a look at that. It really doesn't look bad considering the small pullback that we had this morning. This is the theme of today. Take the recent rallies. You can see we're holding the bullish channel. All things look well. Now, this is called a chaotic candle, okay, or an igniter. You might have, your own personal name for it. I've heard other funny names. But when price leaves an area this quickly, if we run out of buyers, we tend to go back where price remembers the buyers coming in. Now that puts us at around 25.74. So just to understand, if we were to pull back, I would expect buyers in this area. Okay, my risk is defined down here. You can see that. And then my targets to the upside, looking for around 28, 28.50, and overall 30. I did buy some time on this. I did close half of it on Friday. Okay, closed half of it on Friday. So very important. All right, so gold. Let's talk about some GLD. Also in GLD, we did this one. This was pretty interesting. So what we did is we bought out of the money. Okay, so we bought out of the money calls. They started to pull back a little bit. And then we got to a trendy level and I bought at the money calls, and then we closed when they went in the money. Okay, so this made up for that small pullback that I got on the out of the monies. And then Friday I went ahead and added back to my out of the monies. And what I'm looking for this morning is just like all the other ETFs. We're in the neutral strategy. We need to break above that. So 173.23, folks, is a big level. However, it's not going to be easy. Listen up. We have the inside and down right here. What this tells me is we can move, we can bounce here, but most likely what you're going to see is a little bit of resistance that comes in right here, okay? And then most likely this little chop thing, okay? And guess what? When we create that chop, we create this ascending triangle or a flag, and we are all waiting, right? All of us gold bulls, we're waiting for that break. And then, of course, as I said over here, you'd be looking for those targets to the upside of 175.45, 177. Overall risk is underneath the neutral at 169.97. If this does not move quick enough, you may see me roll out and buy a little bit more time. Okay, pretty clear on that. Let's go ahead and move on. All right, so on focus this morning, let's go ahead and go over that really quick. So we have trade plans. I got those in the background. I'll be monitoring those. You can refer to those in the trade plan section. But as far as daily focus goes, I want to bring you guys back. We did really good on AMC last week. Can we continue to do good this week? Just maybe. So I'm completely out of my position. I mean, some of those call positions went up towards 500%. The majority of them were 100%. This right here, AMC, this is the look. I love the monthly, folks. This is why I actually took the trade. It broke over the EMA cloud. You see this thing right here? Right here. EMA cloud starting to pick up here. This looks exciting. I'll tell you why. Because we have multiple inside candles. All right. And what this tells me is that we are forecasting that buyers are standing their ground. We're creating a base around this 11 bucks, and we're starting to pick up some momentum here. Okay. And it starts to look like this. Nice U shape, possible pullback, and then something like this for AMC. So timing is the variable here. So big picture, if we can hold above 10, we continue up towards 18 and so forth. Smaller picture on the 4 hour, things look a little bit different. So I have two different risks here. Risk at 1262, basically you're at the underneath the inside formation here. We have some resistance to the upside, the way that this looks. Can we get above 13.80? If we can get above that edge, expect 14.51, and then we're off to the races towards the upside. Again, daily focus. Let me go ahead and give you the definition on this. This to me, if you're just an intraday trader, it's an intraday trade until proven otherwise. What does that mean? Well, if your expectations are met, then perhaps you can keep some on for further continuation to the upside. But if your expectations are not met and you're closed out, it's just a day trade. You understood your risk. Boom, you take it, you get stopped out, you try again. That's how we trade. Okay, so that's AMC, and then we're going to go ahead and go down here into the next one, which is Triple D's. This is from one of our members here in the background who was checking this out, and he brought this to my attention, not just Triple D, but just the 3D printing sector, and said, John, this thing has been absolutely murked, right? And I looked at it and I was like, yeah, it sure has, right? And Triple D's came up on my scanner. Um, why did they come up on the scanner? Can any of you guys guess why this came up? Anybody? Yes, T79, Iris, ACDC, baby. ACDC. So who cares that everybody else is looking at this? What I care about is the ACDC. ACDC equals ME. And for anybody that doesn't know what that means, basically, if price can get above this breakout area of 2275, I'm looking for 2778. Okay? 2778. That's it. That is, I mean, that's it. But because I'm a nice person and I put together plans with stops and entries and targets, not saying that they will work, but I'm always, I'm always smart in thinking about risk and allocation. So right here, we're currently building a nice buy signal above the decelerator. The entry on the breakout is above 2274. The risk for that particular trade is around 2166. And if for some reason we were to get a pullback, then that pullback would get us down into the entry here. And on a reclaim, big word here, reclaim of 2083, I'm in with a stop below 1892. This is two different plans in one chart. Anybody have any questions on that? Nope. All right, looks good. So that's what's going on. Let's go ahead and talk about Tesla just really quick because that one seems to be a hot topic. They're down at 577. So what I have here is I have some long positions that do not expire for I think 40 plus days, and they're out of the money. I mean, they're way out of the money, and the reason why is because it's been volatile. But I also have a closer dated put debit spreads. Okay, and that's how I'm approaching Tesla because Tesla is all about catalyst, right? Elon, he texts something or texts, he put something out on Twitter, and all of a sudden the stock can go crazy to the upside or downside. So it's a very news catalyst driven sort of stock right now. So I want to be careful with it. And what I'm doing is that I'm picking debit spreads to the downside, all right, that can pay for the upside calls that I'm buying. All right, so that's the idea here. And just to kind of show you what I'm doing here, go ahead and talk about this really fast before we open up. All right, so Tesla put debit spreads. I actually bought the 510 and sold the 500s. Bought the 510 and sold the 500s for this week. And then 32 days out, I have all the way back up here towards 850, I believe. Give me 1 second. Yeah, 850. Okay, so obviously I need a catalyst for something like that to happen, but I'm also paying for that if we continue to break down. All right, this double inside and up is a huge level where I do expect buyers if we get down there, and those debit spreads are targeting that. All right, let's go ahead and move on. Right before we open up, let's get back to the mother, which is ES Futures. You can see here it's starting to bid a little bit as we open up. On down days, remember this, on down days, the futures will bid up into resistance to give you a little glimpse of hope. It's common, it's pattern recognition, it happens over and over. I teach this, and so we're not, we're not buying into the hype. It's all about the levels. Okay, so I'm going to put this on a 5 minute. We're going to showcase the PMZ trade here. All right, here's our PMZ pre-market zone. This will serve as a buy zone if we pull back to there. And then what we're looking for at the moment is a move towards the 41.74 level. Okay. We do have 0 DTE on SPY today, so you may see me put some of those trades in. But for right now, my overall sentiment for the market, yellow flag, I'm your lifeguard. I'm here to coach you, kind of help you, not tell you what to do, just give you my methodology. And I'm telling you, for me, it's caution until we can show that we can hold about 38% of Thursday to Friday's move and then take out previous highs. Then that gives me the green light to go. Okay? So relax, good luck, have a good day, have fun. Don't be too hard on yourself, guys. Everybody's getting this slap in the face lately. Okay? It's not your fault. All right, we're gonna pull this across here, and up here, these are my current positions, guys. You can see those. But I'm gonna pull up the broad market analysis, which is gonna be right here, and I'm gonna pull these over to the right. There we go. All right, so small little 5-minute buy signal. We got the VWAP coming in here. That's what these yellow dotted lines are. All right, Amazon's up pretty big already this morning on our trade. Very nice. What were you getting, NGS? Did you trim that Amazon position? Is that what you did? Is that what you're talking about? That's usually a good sign. I mean, if you had sold some of your Amazon, that's usually a good sign it's going to continue up here, especially if they took it that fast. All right, still getting that buy signal, but let's see how it's going to react here to my upper target at 41.60. All right, guys, how is our gold doing? We added on that last week. Let's see here, about even. All right, so VWAP touch here. You can see a slight pullback. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go on silent for a few, and I'm going to get back here and monitor some of our swing positions, okay? So it's going to be a little dramatic. You can see even CCL pushed up really quick and then pulled back a little bit there. Let's see what else we got going on. Amazon's pushing up towards our resistance. Yep, see that VWAP. All right, let's see if we come back down into our PMZ here. And we had 32 days on CCL. Like I said, we trimmed half of that. Let's move this to long term. And let's go ahead. We're going to put on our focus trades. Let's see what DDD's doing. And I need to take this off the monthly real quick. We definitely don't need the month on there. All right, so nice little push here on triple D's. right, getting pretty cool. Kind of cool here on a smaller time frame. The PMZ is right here at our entry breakout. Okay. And let's trying to check out the, there we go. Nice little push. Remember what we're looking for here for short-term traders, 23 and a half. Longer term traders, we are looking for 27. I kind of like buying a little bit of time here. That's just me because of the market. All right, so I'm going to go. You're going to see here as well. Let's come down here into live alerts. Kind of turn this off. You're going to see that right there. Okay, and you should see these pop up, which is kind of cool. Just to kind of showcase that. I'm going to go right here. Let's see if we can get something going here. All right, so right here I went ahead and started small at the money for 32 days out and see if this thing could get going. All right, we're going to put this up. You can see the short term is right here. Probably a small little pullback, and then we'll see if we can get back over it. So I started small because we're at resistance. For scalpers, if you took that right away, congrats. That was nice. All right, gold starting to pick up. Nice. CCL. There we go, baby. We got our CCL going, or what? Oh, yeah. It's starting to move a little bit. A little bit. All right, let's get back over here to ES. All right, so I'm trimming a little bit of CCL. You can see that right here. Again, we got this really cool thing called brokerage alert. So this is tied up to my API. So there's no typing. There's no trade IDs. These are actual trades. You can see it came through. Nice little trim here at 36%. All right, guys. So we're going to hang out. I'm going to go hang out at my other desk and just kind of chill for a bit. And we'll catch up with you guys here probably in about 30 minutes or so.